My name is Lulit Mola. I am the Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer at the Women's Foundation of Minnesota.
My name is Jasmine Brett Stringer, and I am the founder of Share the Mic Minnesota.
The Women's Foundation of Minnesota and Share the Mic Minnesota have come together for something very special. We know that young women are not only the leaders of tomorrow, they are leading today, and they have something to say. So I am so hopeful about this partnership. It will highlight the Young Women's Initiative of Minnesota, which is a 7-year, $10 million initiative investing in our state's leaders.
When I looked at my personal timeline, I realized that it was my friends, my family, some aspirational, some inspirational, but really where was I getting diversity of thought and perspective? And so with the Share the Mic Minnesota campaign, we are helping to expand and amplify the voices of Black and brown women in our states by allowing them to take over an ally's social media account for the day. And during that opportunity, they are able to share what they're working on, their experiences, and their calls to action in the spirit of making Minnesota more equitable for all people.
We get to ask people to listen, and listen with intentionality to the voices of Black, Indigenous, and young women of color who are leading in every sector you can think about. Any issue that you care about, young women are at the front line. So Share the Mic gives young women that opportunity to amplify the good work they are already doing, because when we listen and follow the leadership of young women, I truly believe that Minnesota will do better.
We want people that want to listen and understand what the issues are, but then we want them to move from listening and understanding to actually taking action. And then maybe they decide to advocate for these young women leaders and the women of the Young Women's Initiative that are really voices and forces for change.
Absolutely. And I think about power. And I think about how power shows up. And power shows up within and with one another. And the #1 descriptor I have for young women, particularly Black, Indigenous, and young women of color, is powerful.
We already have the power in us. So it's really about helping people reclaim their power and own their power, own their voices, own their story, and lead with conviction and authority, and know that the time for me is now.
Whenever I think about equity in action, which to me is justice, is the building, is the sharing, is the yielding of power. And that is at the center of Young Women's Initiative of Minnesota. And there's never been a time when I've talked with a young woman, when I've moderated a panel of young women, that the audience does not leave forever changed, realizing their own power to do something to create a community where each of us thrive.
And that's why this campaign is going to be amazing. We're going to be sharing the stories of these young women leaders from the Young Women's Initiative, and you're going to fall in love with them, and you are going to be inspired and motivated by their sense of power.
I am so happy that the Women's Foundation of Minnesota and Share the Mic Minnesota are following the leadership and voices of young women across the state.
You can get more details at sharethemicmn.com.